Hello there, it's Henry. And if you're building an AI debt collection system in Europe and you're not thinking about GDPR and the EU AI Act, you are not innovative, you're a future enforcement case. You're wiring a machine to talk to thousands of people about money and hoping regulators just don't notice. So, in this video, I'm going to give you a simple but brutal checklist on how to build a high throughput AI calling system that actually collects more, doesn't harass people, and that you can defend to a regulator if they ask questions. Now, if you don't have 10 minutes for this video, honestly, you have no business shipping AI that talks to thousands of debitors. But fine, here's the 30-second breakdown. So it's number one, purpose and legal basis. Two, minimum accurate data in the EU. Three, EU AI endpoints. Four, humans decide the heavy stuff. Five, respect contact rules. And six, log everything and have a plan. So, with that being said, rule number one is simple: no orphan processing. For everything your system does, you must be able to say what the purpose is and what is the legal basis. In collections, that's usually the contract or legitimate interest, not consent. Rule number two, you only need the basics: who the person is, how to reach them, the contract, how much do they owe, how late they are, and what's happened before. That's it. You don't need any social media, family members, or any creepy extra data that I've seen some people use. Rule number two continued. Accuracy matters. If the core system says the debt is paid, your AI must not call. That's a legal failure, and retention matters too. So, audio, transcripts, logs, embeddings, each and everything needs a clear time limit. Forever is not a policy. I'd recommend keeping data for up to 30 days, but no longer than necessary. Rule number three, keep processing in Europe. So, where your system lives actually matters a lot. If you're dealing with EU debitors, your default should be processing inside the European Economic Activity Zone. So, shipping raw audio or transcripts to random non EU services explodes your legal risk. So, if you're using just an OpenAI API that's based in the US and you do not have the EU API, then you're in for some trouble. Rule number three continued. When you use cloud AI, let's say OpenAI, Azure, 11 Labs, whoever, you must choose EU data regions and EU API endpoints. Not global, not US by default. If there's an EU switch, you use it. And if there isn't one, then you shouldn't use it. Rule number three continued. And if you do serve multiple clients, isolation is non negotiable. Separate databases and schemas. Separate encryption keys. Separate logs. Multi tenant does not mean everyone in one bucket, so keep the data separated. Rule number four, profiling. So you score people, you prioritize them, you adapt tone and timing. That's normal. But you must watch for bias and unfair outcomes across countries, products, or groups. And this also goes for AI. AI is not equal per se. It also has its own little profiling things. So if you do debt collection, it must be non biased. Rule number four continued. Not everyone in debt is a bad actor. Some people are sick, unemployed, or just in crisis. Yeah? Your system should act as in support for vulnerability flags, softer scripts, and easier human escalation and less aggressive follow ups. Rule number five, AI is an assistant, not a judge. It can suggest who to call, what to say, and what to do next, but it must not be the only brain when serious consequences are involved. So always keep a human in the loop. Going to rule number five, continued, things like legal escalation, service cutoffs, selling portfolios, those need a human. And debitors must have a simple way to say, I don't agree, I want a human to review this. And that request must actually go somewhere real so that an actual person can follow up. Rule number six, don't be a harassment machine. Your AI is not allowed to be a harassment machine. Cap attempts, respect time windows and quiet hours, apply weekend rules, follow local laws. If you don't do that, you are in for some serious trouble. Continuing rule number six, if somebody says, please stop calling this number, you must stop on the same contact attempt. Not later, not on the next month, not after a cleanup job. And don't spoof or hide caller ID. You are in a regulated environment. Act like it. Now, just to clarify, if somebody says, please do not call me, it does not mean that you are not obligated to contact them to get their debt. It just means that do not engage with them on that specific channel. So you can still email, you can still do legal escalation, you can still do all sorts of things. Just if they say, don't call this number, you must obey. Okay. Rule number 7, do not pretend the bot is a human. So you must state it in the beginning of the call. This is an automated system, who it's from, and also say that they can reach a human at any time. Just be, simple, honest, and clear. Especially now that the models are going really good, you might not even figure out that it's a human or it's an AI. So you must always say it. So, rule number 7, continued. Uh, Give people a real privacy layer. So, who controls the data, what it's used for, and the legal basis, retention, sharing, and rights. In practice, that's a short spoken summary and a link or SMS to the full notice. Rule number 8, logging equals control. So, if you can construct what happened, you don't control the system. Log who was called, when was called, by which script, which model version, what decisions were made, and what humans overrode. And also document the system, the data flows, lawful basis, what models do, known limits, kill switch, and oversight. So if a regulator asks for a walkthrough, you should manage it in calmly within about 30 minutes. Rule number 9, rights handling built in. So rights handling must be built into the product. Access requests, corrections, restrictions, channel blocks, no Excel chaos, real actual features. Rule number 9, extended. So you will need a incident plan. Let's say you call the wrong segment, or a bad script got pushed, or there was a data breach. So how you stop it, investigate it, inform the client, and support the regulation communication. You're being judged on speed and cleanliness, essentially. Rule number 10, assume the AI Act applies seriously. If your system influences financial outcomes at scale, treat it as a high risk or close to it. Continued. So you have two roles. So you as the provider, should you be developing this debt collection script in-house, you, the provider, must build and document everything. Your client or your company, the deployer, operates and oversees. You, as the provider, must help with the DPIA's oversight, training, and meaningful KPIs. You're not selling a bot, okay? You're selling a added regulated component. So essentially, that's how you build an AI debt collection system in Europe that collects more money, doesn't harass people, and doesn't collapse the first time legal shows up. And if by any chance you're a EU regulated lender, leasing firm, or a credit institution, or a bank, then and you find this interesting, then we also do AI debt collection. We have many clients from Estonia and from the EU as well, Bondora as a name drop. So if you're interested, you can schedule a call. You can see how this same framework could apply to your collections. But if not, then that's fine as well. Thank you for tuning in, and have a wonderful day, morning, or night, wherever you are in the world.